What you're looking at here is the MAX-BANTAM paper counter. It is designed to count large stacks of paper and give you precise totals as far as each sheet that's in the stack. It has such features as a batch counter. It will give you the total. It has variable speed and also inserts tabs. And it also has a tape length adjustment, which allows you to change how far into the paper the tabs are inserted. A very easy to use start button that lights up when the machine is on. It has a low tape indicator. You're capable of adjusting batch counting from 5 to 999, and it includes a handy emergency stop button if for any reason you need to stop the counting job immediately. Unlike many comparable models, the MAX-BANTAM actually counts each sheet of paper, unlike some other models that actually check how thick the stack of paper is and makes an estimation based on that. This particular machine is widely used in print shops and in any business where it is very important to keep track of each sheet of paper for cost reasons. Now, before you start the machine up, you will need to plug the cable into the back. There is a port right here on the back where the cable plugs into the machine. Again, just plug it into the wall. And the on-off switch is just right above where the cable comes out of the machine. The circle means it's off, and the line means that it is turned on. Now, I'm going to turn the machine off right now to show you a little bit of the inside of the machine. It has a very easy to access door back here. It just lifts up. It has Velcro on the sides here, so just pull it back and it'll lift up. And you can pull it up even farther to open up the top. And you can see in here there are several chains, pneumatic hoses, wires, and motors that operate the machine. There is a tape dispenser on the side, which is going to be a little hard to see at the moment, but basically there's a roll of tabs in here, and you can tell the machine to put a tab into the stack of paper every 50 sheets, every 20 sheets. You can adjust it from anywhere from 5 to 999, and it will basically just insert a tab at that mark, making it easier for you to separate stacks of paper to batch count and just to keep things organized. So the tab roll just goes into the side of the machine here. It just needs to be fed through. As far as maintenance is concerned, there's not a lot back here that you'll have to deal with other than changing out that roll. But that is how you access the back here. Again, you can see all the wires, chains, pneumatic tubes, and everything that operate the machine. To close the door, just lift it up here. It has two hinges, one right down here and another up here. So just lower that down. And there is a safety switch here as well that will turn the machine off when this door is open for safety reasons. When that door is lowered, it will press in on that switch, allowing the machine to be used. I still like to turn the machines off before I open them up, but the safety switch is on there. So if for any reason you need to access the front of the machine for maintenance or to clean it out, get rid of paper dust, or if it's being repaired and you need something replaced inside the machine, you can access this very easily with a key that is included with the machine. And each side needs to be opened up. And now you have easy access to the pneumatic, hydraulic, and the electronic components of this machine. You can see the various PC boards. I'll turn the machine off. If for any reason you're accessing this, you don't want live electrical wires. But this is it. If for any reason you needed to change, for instance, some of these fuses or maintain the machine, again, this front just folds down very easily and can be lifted right back up. Key can be put back in, and the front of the machine can be locked back down. So it's very easy to work on. There's a front access and a back access, and the machine, again, very easy to maintain. So now I'm going to turn on the machine. And you'll notice that the start button has turned on. You can see that it glows green when the machine's ready to go. If for any reason you're in the middle of a job, you can push the emergency stop button. That light goes off, power's turned off, the machine does not operate. To turn the machine back on after the emergency stop button has been pushed in, just twist it to the right, it'll pop back out, and you're ready to start using the machine again. Because the MAX-BANTAM does count large stacks of paper, I do recommend using a paper jogger. Just keep paper squared up. If you have a printout or something that you need to count, it's just easier to have everything squared up. So just put it into the paper jogger, turn it on. It shakes around until the paper's squared up on all edges. And we're ready to count that. Let's stick another stack in here. And that's now squared up as well. Alright, now the MAX-BANTAM is available in a unit that has a jogger built into it. This particular unit does not. Now there is a laser in this that will detect paper, and I'll just show you an example. You'll probably see the laser shine on the paper. You can see back there in the corner of the laser. And that detects the paper, and as soon as it detects the paper, the machine turns on and gets ready to count. As soon as that paper is removed, they turn the machine off. So it is fairly automated. You can adjust the tape length. Now many people at first think that means how long the tabs are that are inserted into the stacks of paper. Well, the tape is actually not a tape the tape's not actually tape like Scotch tape or something like that. They're actually strips that are cut into tabs that are inserted into the paper. Now you can tell the machine exactly how often you want those tabs inserted into the stack of paper. You can tell it anywhere from 5 up to 999. Now all you need to do is just turn these dials here. Now I've got it set to insert a tab every 35 sheets. And there's a batch counter on here. I'm going to hit reset on these for now. The batch counter will actually let you know how many stacks of 35 sheets there are. So it will count 35, tab it. 35, tab it. And every time it counts 35, the batch count will go up 1. So after you've counted a stack of papers, you might have a batch of 5 or 6. That just means that it's inserted about 5 or 6 tabs. There are 5 or 6 groups of 35 sheets of paper in that stack of paper. The total amount up here just lets you know how many sheets of paper are counted in all. Now this counter up here will let you know how many sheets it's counting between batches, or if you're not using the batch counter at all, it will just count up along with the total indicator here. Now the count speed can be turned all the way up to 100 or all the way down to 0. I found that 60 is a pretty good spot. If you turn it up too high, you will notice the machine will vibrate a little bit and it will be a little bit louder. If you find that annoying, 60 should be just fine. It does count very fast. There's a low tape light indicator here, so if that roll of tape inside the machine or the tabs runs low, it will let you know, and that way you can open up the back of the machine, insert a new roll of tabs. And this is what the tape roll looks like. It's green, about 1/4 of an inch wide, and that just loads into the machine, and you'll see here in just a minute exactly what that does. Now there is a device in here called a wiper, and it helps assist in counting the paper. This is what a wiper looks like. I'm going to turn the machine off and show you something. Now the wiper is just sitting right down here in the machine. There is a screw in there that can easily be loosened up and pulled out using an Allen wrench, which comes with the machine. And if you're counting thicker paper, you're going to want to use the wiper that has a little bit larger hole on it. For your standard 20-pound copy paper, the one that I'm using right now is just fine. And if you find that you're having any problems, you may just need to switch it up to the wiper that's designed for thicker paper. Another thing that you want to do as far as maintaining the machine, there is a little tiny filter here that needs to be cleaned on occasion. It just twists off counterclockwise. And it just helps filter the air that's going through the machine. That does need to be cleaned on occasion. So I'm putting the filter back on, and you can see that filter, if it's starting to get dirty, you'll notice it's getting brown or gray, that it needs to be cleaned out. Right now it's pretty much white, and you can see it from here without reaching in and pulling it off. So now I'm going to slide the paper in the machine for it to start counting. Now this reset button can be switched off or on. If it's switched on, it means it will reset this counter every time you insert a new stack of paper into the machine. If I have it switched off, that means if there are an odd number, 13 left over for instance, if you're doing a stack of 388 with batches of 25, then you could take those 13 sheets from the previous stack, put them on a new one, and keep that batch counting going with 25 in each stack, because you don't want to end up with an odd number on the top of each stack of paper that you're counting. So I'm going to insert this inside the machine. The laser's detected that there's paper here. I'll switch the batch counting to 25, which means every 25 sheets it's going to insert a tab. I'm going to make sure that the batch and the total are reset to 0. And as the paper is being counted, you'll notice that the total will continuously go up. The batch will go up 1 every 25 sheets. And this red counter up here will count to 25. The batch will go up 1. It'll reset to 0, go up 25. Batch counter will go up another 1. Of course, this will be going very fast, but that's essentially what's happening. I'm going to keep this at a speed of about 60, and I'm going to keep the tape length at about 30, which means the tape length is how far into the paper the tabs will go, not necessarily how big the tabs themselves are. So I'm going to start this. You'll notice the clamp will come down, hold the paper in place, and it will begin counting each individual sheet of paper. And you'll notice that the total is going up, that this is resetting every 25, and that the batch is going up every time it counts 25 sheets of paper. Now you notice there are 13 sheets of paper left over. I already knew that there were 388 sheets in this because I'd counted them previously, but that's just how accurate this machine is. It will count every sheet of paper every time you put paper into this machine. It's very, very accurate. Now if I turn this around, you'll notice the tabs have been placed every 25 sheets of paper. So I now have that precisely separated and divided out. The counter here is telling me that there were 13 sheets of paper left over, which means I can take those 13 off the top and set them on another stack so that I can have these batched into 25 sheet stacks. Now the tabs are very easy to pull out if you need to. Just pull right out. Now I can add that. Say this was another stack of paper. You can put that onto the new stack, put that into the machine, and it will start from 13, knowing that those top 13 were counted from a previous group of paper. Done counting that. Now we have a total of 31 batches of 25 sheets of paper. We have a total of 778 sheets of paper, and I'm going to hit reset on that, but you can keep that going if you needed to. I'm going to set that back down to 0, and you're ready to now adjust it or set it up for another job. Now, if I had the reset switched on, when I put that stack of paper in, it would have reset this 13 to 0 and would have counted right from the start rather than taking into account that 13 sheets of paper had been placed on there from the previous stack of paper. And again, it inserted a tab every 25 sheets of paper. And you don't have to use the batch feature at all. I can reset that to 0. Put this into the machine, and I can leave that at 0, which means I'm not going to batch count anything. And if for any reason the tape is sticking out, you can hit a tape cut button, which will cut the excess tape off for you. So now I'm going to count it without batching at all. We already know that we have 388 sheets of paper in there. And just to show you how effective this is, you'll notice that at the end, there will be 388 sheets of paper. And you'll notice that again, 388 again, it's that precise. We'll count every sheet of paper. And as I said earlier, some of these machines actually clamp the paper, determine how thick it is, and say, oh, well, it's 20-pound paper, that's about 1.5 inches thick. This is how many sheets of paper there are probably in the stack. So again, if you are in a business or in an industry where you need to count paper on a regular basis, I'd highly recommend the MAX-BANTAM paper counter because it is very effective, very efficient. It counts every sheet of paper every single time without flaw. It's very compact, can be stored just about anywhere, and is an ideal solution for anybody's paper counting needs. So that's the MAX-BANTAM. If you're in an industry or business that has paper counting needs, the MAX-BANTAM precisely counts paper. It's very compact. As you can see here, it's easily sitting on top of this counter and is a very high quality and efficient machine for your paper counting needs.